Welcome back to our channel History Coins HD. As you that old is gold, but these rare Lincoln wheat penny coin that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them. You're lucky if you have one of these, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Top 1, we're diving into the fascinating world of US coinage to uncover a hidden gem, the 1953 Lincoln wheat penny. This little copper coin may seem ordinary at first glance, but what if I told you that it could be worth a small fortune? That's right. Some versions of this penny have sold for an astonishing amount, and by the end of this video, we'll reveal just how much one of these coins could be worth today. So, grab your magnifying glass and get ready to check your coin collections. You might be holding onto a true treasure without even realizing it. Let's start by taking a closer look at the history behind this remarkable coin. The Lincoln wheat penny series is one of the most famous and beloved coin designs in American history. First introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, this penny replaced the Indian head cent and became the first U.S. coin to feature a president's face. The design, created by sculptor Victor D. Brenner, was so well received that it remained in circulation for 50 years before being replaced by the Lincoln Memorial Reverse in 1959. By 1953, the Lincoln wheat penny had already been in circulation for over 4 decades. The U.S. Mint struck these pennies at 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, identified by the absence of a mint mark or by the letters D or S beneath the date. The 1953 penny was minted during a time of post-war economic growth in America, and millions of these coins were produced. But as we'll see, not all of them are created equal. Some are far more valuable than others. Now, let's talk about the design and unique features of this coin. On the obverse, or front side, of the penny, you'll find the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln facing right. Above his head is the motto, "In God We Trust," and to the left, you'll see the word Liberty. Below Lincoln's bust, the date 1953 is stamped, along with a small mint mark if it was produced in Denver or San Francisco. Flipping the coin over to the reverse side, you'll see the classic wheat penny design. 2 wheat stalks curve along the sides, framing the words 1 cent and United States of America. Just above, you'll find the Latin phrase e pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one. This simple yet powerful design represents unity and prosperity, making it one of the most iconic images in American numismatics. Now, what makes some 1953 Lincoln wheat pennies so valuable? It all comes down to rarity, condition, and errors. While millions of these pennies were struck, most of them were used in everyday transactions, leading to wear and tear over time. However, if a coin was preserved in near-perfect condition, especially in uncirculated or proof grades, it becomes far more desirable to collectors. The highest grade examples, which have never been touched or spent, can fetch incredible prices at auctions, but beyond condition, mint errors can make a 1953 penny even more valuable. Sometimes, mistakes occur during the coin-making process, such as double die errors, off-center strikes, or incorrect planchets. These errors create unique variations that collectors are willing to pay a premium for. If you happen to find a 1953 Lincoln penny with one of these rare errors, its value could skyrocket. Now, let's get to the part you've been waiting for, the real value of the 1953 Lincoln wheat penny. On the lower end, a circulated 1953 penny with noticeable wear may be worth just a few cents above face value. A well-preserved version in higher grades could be valued anywhere from a few dollars to several $100s, but here's where things get exciting. If you happen to own a 1953 Lincoln wheat penny in pristine, uncirculated condition, or one with an extremely rare mint error, it could be worth an astonishing $73,000. That's right, this tiny copper coin, which once had a face value of just 1 cent, has been known to fetch an unbelievable price at auctions. This is why checking your coin collection is so important. You never know when you might stumble upon a hidden fortune. So, the next time you're sorting through your old change jar or inheriting a coin collection, keep an eye out for a 1953 Lincoln wheat penny. It could be the key to an unexpected windfall. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare and valuable coins, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an exciting discovery. Top 2, we're going to take a deep dive into one particular penny that could turn out to be an unexpected jackpot, the 1950 Lincoln wheat penny. It might look like just another ordinary penny, but what if I told you that some versions of this coin are selling for unbelievable amounts? By the end of this video, you'll know what makes this coin special, how to spot the rarest versions, and just how much it could be worth. So stay with us, because this is one discovery you don't want to miss. Let's start with a little bit of history to understand why this penny is so significant. The Lincoln Wheat Penny is one of the most famous and collected coins in the United States. It was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln, making it the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure. The penny was designed by Victor D. Brenner and became instantly popular. Fast forward to 1950, and the Lincoln Wheat Penny was still being produced, but the country was going through major economic and social changes. The post-World War II era had brought a period of prosperity, and America was rapidly modernizing. Despite being just a 1-cent coin, the 1950 Lincoln Wheat Penny holds a piece of this history, making it more than just currency. It's a time capsule. And now, let's talk about the design and unique features of the 1950 Lincoln Wheat Penny. On the front, or obverse, side of the coin, you'll find a right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln. Above his head is the phrase, "In God We Trust," a motto that remains on U.S. coins to this day. To the left, you'll see the word Liberty, and beneath Lincoln's chin is the date 1950. If your penny has a small d under the date, it means it was minted in Denver. If it has an S, it was made in San Francisco. If there's no mint mark, it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. Turning the coin over, the reverse side features the classic wheat penny design. The words 1 cent and United States of America are placed in the center, with 2 wheat stalks on either side. Above them, you'll find the Latin phrase e pluribus unum, which means out of many, one. This iconic design remained on the penny until 1959, when it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial. Now, let's get into what makes the 1950 Lincoln Wheat Penny so valuable. Not all pennies are created equal, and the value of a 1950 wheat penny depends on 3 major factors: rarity, condition, and errors. Millions of these pennies were minted in 1950, but most of them were used in everyday transactions, leading to wear and tear over time. A penny that has been in circulation for years will have scratches, faded details, and other signs of use. However, if you have a 1950 penny that is in pristine, uncirculated condition, one that looks almost brand new, it can be worth significantly more. Beyond condition, mint errors play a huge role in a penny's value. Some 1950 Lincoln pennies were struck with rare mistakes that make them one-of-a-kind collectibles. These errors include double die errors, when the design is accidentally stamped twice, creating a ghostly or blurry effect on the lettering and numbers. Off-center strikes, when the coin was not properly aligned during the minting process, causing part of the design to be missing or shifted. Repunched mint marks, when the D or S mint mark was accidentally stamped more than once, leading to a doubled or misaligned appearance. These error coins are highly sought after by collectors and can be worth far more than a standard 1950 wheat penny. Now, let's get to the part you've all been waiting for: the value of the 1950 Lincoln Wheat Penny. A common 1950 penny that has been in circulation might only be worth a few cents above its face value. A well-preserved version in higher grades could be valued anywhere from $10 to several $100s, but here's where things get exciting. If you happen to have a 1950 Lincoln Wheat Penny in near-perfect, uncirculated condition, or even better, one with a rare mint error, it could be worth an astonishing $76,000, that's right, $76,000 for a single penny. This is why it's so important to check your old coin collections, search through your piggy banks, and inspect any loose change you come across. You never know, you might be holding onto a hidden fortune without even realizing it. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare and valuable coins, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another exciting discovery. Top 3. We're going to take a deep dive into one of the most fascinating coins in American history, the 1957 Lincoln Wheat Penny. This tiny copper coin, which once had a face value of just 1 cent, could actually be worth a staggering amount of money. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what makes the 1957 Wheat Penny special, what to look for when checking your own coins, and most importantly, just how much it could be worth today. So stick around, because you might just discover that you've been holding onto a small fortune without even realizing it. To truly understand the significance of the 1957 Lincoln Wheat Penny, we need to take a quick trip back in time. The Lincoln Wheat Penny series was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure, replacing the Indian head cent that had been in circulation for decades. Designed by Victor D. Brenner, this coin quickly became a collector's favorite. By 1957, the wheat penny was nearing the end of its production, as it would be replaced just 2 years later in 1959 by the Lincoln Memorial Penny. This means that 1957 was one of the last years to feature the iconic wheat stalks on the reverse side of the coin. This alone makes it an interesting piece of numismatic history, but as you'll see, certain versions of this coin are far more valuable than others. Let's talk about the design and features of the 1957 Lincoln Wheat Penny. On the obverse, or front side, you'll find the classic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, facing right. Above his head is the phrase, "In God We Trust," while the word liberty is located to the left. Just below Lincoln's chin, the year 1957 is stamped. If your penny has a small d under the date, that means it was minted in Denver, while those without a mint mark were produced at the Philadelphia Mint. Now, flipping the coin over to the reverse side, we see the iconic wheat penny design. The words 1 cent and United States of America are centered between two detailed wheat stalks. Above them, you'll find the Latin phrase e pluribus unum, which means out of many, one. This simple yet beautiful design was a staple of U.S. coinage for 50 years before it was replaced in 1959.so. What makes some 1957 Lincoln Wheat pennies so valuable? While millions of these pennies were minted, their value depends on three key factors: rarity, condition, and minting errors. Most of the 1957 wheat pennies that were used in everyday transactions show signs of wear, including scratches, fading, and discoloration. These circulated pennies are typically only worth a few cents to a few dollars. However, if you have a 1957 wheat penny that has been preserved in near-perfect, uncirculated condition, meaning it looks as flawless as the day it was minted, it could be worth significantly more. Beyond condition, mint errors play a huge role in the value of a penny. Some of the rarest and most valuable 1957 wheat pennies have errors that make them stand out. These include double die errors. This happens when the coin's design is accidentally stamped twice, creating a noticeable doubling effect on the letters and numbers. Off-center strikes. If the coin was misaligned during minting, the design may appear shifted or incomplete. Repunched mint marks. In some cases, the D mint mark was stamped multiple times, creating an overlapping effect that collectors find highly desirable. If you come across a 1957 Lincoln Wheat penny with one of these rare errors, you might be holding onto a coin worth a significant amount of money. And now, let's get to the most exciting part: how much could a 1957 Lincoln Wheat penny actually be worth? If you have a standard 1957 wheat penny in circulated condition, its value might be just a few cents above face value. A well-preserved version in higher grades could be worth anywhere from $10 to several $100s, but here's where things get really exciting. If you happen to own a 1957 Lincoln Wheat penny in pristine, uncirculated condition, or better yet, one with a rare minting error, it could be worth an astonishing $68,000. That's right, $68,000 for a single penny. This is why it's so important to check your old coins, sort through your piggy banks, and go through any coin collections you may have inherited. You never know what kind of hidden treasure you might be sitting on. So, the next time you find a 1957 wheat penny, don't just toss it aside. Take a closer look, check its condition, examine it for errors, and you could be holding onto a small fortune. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare and valuable coins, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another exciting discovery. Top 4. Imagine finding an old penny in your pocket change, only to discover that it's worth an incredible amount of money. That's exactly what could happen with the 1944 Lincoln Wheat penny, a small copper coin that might just be hiding in your collection, waiting to be discovered. Today, we're going to explore the fascinating history of the 1944 wheat penny, what makes it so valuable, and how you can identify one that could be worth a fortune. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for and just how much this little coin could be worth. So, don't go anywhere, because you might be sitting on a jackpot without even realizing it. Let's begin with a little bit of history. The Lincoln Wheat penny series was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor D. Brenner, this coin became the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure, replacing the Indian head cent. The wheat penny design remained in circulation for 50 years, before being replaced by the Lincoln Memorial design in 1959. Now, let's talk about what makes the 1944 Lincoln Wheat penny so special. To understand its importance, we need to go back to World War II. In 1943, the U.S. Mint made an unusual change to the Lincoln penny. Due to the war effort, copper was in high demand for making ammunition and military supplies. As a result, the Mint temporarily switched the penny's composition to zinc-coated steel, creating the famous 1943 steel penny. However, this change didn't last long. By 1944, the U.S. Mint decided to return to copper pennies, using recycled shell casings from the war. This makes the 1944 Lincoln wheat penny a unique historical artifact. It was literally made from materials that once played a role in World War II. Now, let's break down the design and features of this incredible coin. On the obverse, or front side, you'll find a portrait of Abraham Lincoln, just like all Lincoln pennies. Above his head is the phrase, "In God We Trust," while Liberty is written to the left of his profile. Below Lincoln's chin, you'll see the date 1944. If there's a small d under the year, it means the coin was minted in Denver. If there's an S, it was minted in San Francisco. If there's no mint mark, it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. Now, flipping the coin over, you'll see the reverse side featuring the iconic wheat penny design. The words 1 cent and United States of America are centered between two wheat stalks. Above them, the Latin phrase e pluribus unum is written, meaning out of many, one. This simple but powerful design represents the unity and strength of the nation. But here's where things get exciting. Some 1944 Lincoln wheat pennies are worth far more than their face value. There are three main factors that determine the value of a 1944 wheat penny: rarity, condition, and minting errors. While millions of 1944 pennies were minted, not all of them are valuable. If a penny has been heavily circulated, meaning it has scratches, discoloration, and wear from years of use, it won't be worth much more than a few cents to a few dollars. However, if you have a 1944 penny in near perfect, uncirculated condition, it could be worth significantly more. But here's where things get really interesting. Some 1944 pennies were accidentally struck on leftover 1943 steel blanks. These rare 1944 steel pennies are among the most valuable error coins in existence. If you happen to come across a penny that looks silver instead of copper, you may have found one of these ultra-rare coins. Other valuable mint errors include double die errors, when the design is accidentally stamped twice, creating a noticeable doubling effect on the letters and numbers. Off-center strikes, when the coin was misaligned during minting, causing part of the design to be missing or shifted. Repunched mint marks, when the D or S mint mark was stamped multiple times, resulting in an overlapping or blurry appearance. These errors can dramatically increase the value of a 1944 Lincoln wheat penny, making it a prized collector's item. Now, let's get to the most exciting part. How much could a 1944 Lincoln wheat penny actually be worth? If you have a common 1944 wheat penny that has been in circulation, it might only be worth a few cents to a few dollars. A well-preserved version in higher grades could be valued anywhere from $10 to several $100s. But here's the big surprise: if you happen to own a 1944 Lincoln wheat penny in pristine, uncirculated condition, or better yet, one with a rare minting error, it could be worth an astonishing $93,000. That's right, $93,000 for a single penny. This is why you should always check your old coins, search through your piggy banks, and carefully examine any penny from 1944. You never know when you might be holding onto a hidden fortune. So, the next time you come across a 1944 wheat penny, don't just toss it aside. Take a close look, check its condition, inspect for errors, and you could be sitting on a life-changing discovery. Yet if you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare and valuable coins, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another exciting coin discovery. Top 5. We're diving deep into the fascinating world of rare coins to uncover the incredible value of the 1954 Lincoln wheat penny. This tiny copper coin, once worth only a single cent, could now be worth an astonishing amount of money. By the end of this video, you'll know everything about the 1954 wheat penny, its history, design, rare errors, and, most importantly, how much it could be worth. So stick around, because if you have one of these pennies, you might be sitting on a small fortune. To truly understand the importance of the 1954 Lincoln wheat penny, we need to take a trip back in time. The Lincoln wheat penny series was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor D. Brenner, this coin was revolutionary for its time, as it was the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure. For 5 decades, the wheat penny remained in circulation before being replaced by the Lincoln Memorial Penny in 1959. In 1954, the United States was in the post-war boom. The economy was thriving, new industries were emerging, and the country was growing rapidly. During this time, the Denver Mint produced millions of Lincoln wheat pennies, including the famous 1954 version. While many of these pennies were spent in daily transactions, a few have survived in near-perfect condition, making them highly valuable to collectors today. And now, let's take a closer look at the design of this remarkable coin. On the obverse, or front side, you'll find the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, facing right. Above his head is the phrase, "In God We Trust," while the word liberty appears to the left. Just below Lincoln's chin, the date 1954 is prominently displayed. But what makes this penny special is the small D mint mark located right beneath the year, indicating that it was minted at the Denver Mint. Now, flipping the coin over to the reverse side, you'll see the iconic wheat penny design. The words 1 cent and United States of America are positioned between two wheat stalks. Above them, you'll find the Latin phrase e pluribus unum, which translates to out of many, one. This design, simple yet powerful, symbolizes the strength and unity of the nation. But what makes some 1954 D Lincoln wheat pennies so valuable? The value of this penny depends on three major factors: rarity, condition, and minting errors. Most 1954 D wheat pennies were heavily circulated, meaning they show signs of wear and tear. These circulated pennies are typically worth only a few cents to a few dollars. However, if you have a 1954 D penny in near-perfect, uncirculated condition, one that has been carefully preserved, it could be worth much more. But here's where things get really exciting. Some 1954 D Lincoln wheat pennies have rare minting errors, and these errors can significantly increase their value. Some of the most valuable mint errors include double die errors. This occurs when the coin's design is stamped twice, creating a noticeable doubling effect on the letters and numbers. A 1954 D penny with a strong double die error can be extremely valuable. Off-center strikes. If the coin was misaligned during the minting process, the design may appear shifted or incomplete. The more off-center the strike, the rarer the coin. Repunched mint marks. In some cases, the D mint mark was stamped more than once, causing an overlapping effect that collectors highly prize. Lamination errors. When impurities in the metal cause the coin's surface to peel or bubble, it creates a unique look that makes the coin stand out. If you come across a 1954 D wheat penny with one of these rare errors, you could be looking at a coin worth far more than just 1 cent. Now, let's talk about how much this incredible coin could actually be worth. A standard 1954 D wheat penny in circulated condition might only be worth a few cents to a few dollars. A well-preserved version in higher grades can fetch anywhere from $10 to several $100s, but here's where things get truly exciting. If you happen to own a 1954 D Lincoln wheat penny in pristine, uncirculated condition, or even better, one with a rare minting error, it could be worth an astonishing $66,000. That's right, $66,000 for a single penny. This is why it's so important to check your old coins, sort through your piggy banks, and take a closer look at any 1954 D pennies you might have. You never know, you could be holding onto a hidden fortune without even realizing it. So, the next time you come across a 1954 D wheat penny, don't just toss it aside. Take a close look, check for minting errors, and see if it's in great condition. You could be holding onto a rare and valuable treasure. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare and valuable coins, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another exciting coin discovery. Thanks for watching, and happy collecting!